In this video, I will be dye testing and patching a couple leaks in this pool, in the main drain, and in the skimmer. What I will be using is some Ritz dye, a syringe to guide the dye, a razor knife, a 2-part epoxy called Pool Putty. This can be purchased at any pool supply store or online. A diver's mask, a couple blocks to help me stay underwater, and a Phillips head screwdriver. First, I want to take some dye and extract it with my syringe. Now, the syringe is a little longer, so I can use that tip to guide the dye where I want it to go. So now I have my syringe ready to go. It's time to dive the pool. So I'll get down to the bottom, use my bricks to hold me down. And on this main drain, there are a couple screws holding the grate down. So I'll go ahead and remove the 2 screws, securing the main drain grate to the main drain. After I remove the screws, the grate pulls right up. Sometimes you can use a screwdriver if the grate is stuck or stubborn. You can use the screwdriver to kind of wobble it around to get it up. Or tap it with your palm a little bit. On this main drain, I really want to focus on the upper rim here. I can see that there's a little bit of rust, and immediately this dye is just being drawn right in, so it's an obvious sign that water is being lost. The rust is a great indicator that that is where a leak would be. This dye is just drawing right in. So I know there's a leak there. So I'll go ahead and get my pool putty. Pool putty needs to be combined in equal parts. What I like to do is match them next to each other, use a razor knife, and make a cut into both so I know where my lines are. And then individually, I'll cut all the way through so that I have equal parts of this 2-part epoxy. After I get the 2 parts out of their wrap, I'm going to combine the 2 together. This pool putty is pretty old, so I really had to put a lot of pressure on. New pool putty is very easy to work with. So just working this back and forth, make sure that's a solid color at the end. It's going to be like a whitish gray kind of, and that's a consistency. So once I get that nice to where I want it, I can go back down to the main drain. And I'm going to start packing this flip with pool putty. So you can see I'm pushing it in with my thumb. This means I'm packing it. I'm really pushing the pool putty into that crack. I don't want to just get it on the surface. I want to actually have it adhere or bond to the lip of the main drain, underneath and onto the main drain. I'll go a little further out from where the rust is and continue on. After I get that packed around the rust spot, I'll put another little bit additional part over the rust and then smooth it out. I like to make this nice and smooth. This will cure underwater now. It will get hard and it should seal the leak for quite some time. So now I'll use my syringe with dye and I'll double check to make sure that water's not being lost and nothing seeping in here. It looks pretty good. On this particular application, the screw hole just above is going to have some epoxy in there. So I'm just going to use this syringe tip here and I'm just going to kind of work this around a little bit. I'm actually trying to pack the pool putty into the screw hole so that when I insert this screw, it's going to kind of wrap around it and it will be a pretty tight seal. Now I got that, I'm going to go ahead and put this grate back on. Secure it with the 2 screws. And that main drain is good to go. I'm going to go ahead right for the skimmer. The water was dropping very quickly just to the bottom of the skimmer. So immediately when I bring my dye over here, I can see there's an opening and that is just sucking all the dye right in there. Even though it looks like a small crack, it's really drawing a lot of water. This dye is not being sucked in here, any of these spots. If there was no leak, the dye would just kind of sit there stagnant. But you can see that's just pulling the water right in. So I'll take some more pool putty and apply that over the crack here. And again, I want to pack this in really tight. I don't want to just sit the pool putty on the surface because that's not really going to seal this correctly. I want to pack this in there really tight so it gets a nice secure bond. So when it dries, it's actually adhering And then I like to smooth that out. Nice smooth finish. Even though it is a pool patch, it's a pool putty, even though you're patching it, I like to smooth it out to make it look kind of nice. And I'll give it one little test here with the syringe. That skimmer is good to go now. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.